What's happening, folks? Today we're going to learn how to build this table switcher where by selecting a slicer option it then switches your entire table based on your selection. But the question is, why do we want to do that? Well, when we build our Power BI reports, users often want to explore raw data within a table format. And what often ends up happening is you have multiple tables across your reports for your users to export to Excel, but you have to build them in separate tabs. Your users have to find them when you can simply have a table slicer that allows you to switch based on your selection, providing a much better user experience, and it's really simple to set up. We don't need to use any bookmarks. So let's go ahead and learn how to build this awesome table slicer that switches your tables based on your selection. But right before we do, I'll start off by introducing myself. I'm Raja, the Power BI guy, and I teach Power BI, SQL, and just general data content. So for more videos like this, do like and subscribe. But on that note, let's just go ahead and get started. So we're now in Power BI. Let's work through building this table slicer that allows us to change our tables based on the selection we make. So for example, if I select gender performance, we can now see the columns have changed to gender, and then other calculations we want to see against gender. But then if I select customer insight, we now have, instead of gender, customer name, age group, and then other columns and measures related to customer insight. So let's go ahead and learn how to build this in Power BI. So what I'll do is duplicate this page and then remove our table and the slicer so we can start again with building this view. Now the first thing that we need to have is a series of measures and then columns that we want to switch or have in our various table views. So for example, I have some very basic measures such as cost, customers, orders, but really it can be any calculation that you want. And then for your actual dimensions or columns for your tables, you can choose any columns within your views. So let's first start off by going to our modeling tab and then selecting new parameter where we can select fields. And for now, let's just pick one measure. So for example, cost, and then one column from our table that we want. So for example, if we select store name, we now have the baseline to build our field parameter. So let's call this table switcher. And if we select create, we can see within our data model, we now have a new table. And then if we want to bring that into a slicer, we have this table switcher column. So if we create a slicer and then bring that in, we can see our two columns within this switcher. And then if we create a table and bring that in as well, let's go ahead and make that slightly bigger. We can see if we select one of these columns, it then switches to that column. But here's the issue. Right now, this works at a column level. We have to select our individual columns to build the views that we want to see. So this is where we can now start to introduce further logic into our table switcher. So let's go to our field parameter, go back to our formula bar, and now let's start off by creating some comments for our various tables. So our first, we're going to call this a customer table. So let's go ahead to the bottom of our calculation, enter a new row, and then let's call this our gender table. And once again, let's create our third table by inserting 2 forward slashes just for formatting and organization. And we'll call this our store table. Now, this isn't actually doing anything. It's just simply where we're going to place all of our various calculations to organize our various tables. So now to build our first table, we can see we have our column name and then what that column represents within that actual table. Now after our number, what we're going to do is then insert a comma, and then if we put in quotation marks the name of our table, such as customer table, and then do the same below, as we have to have a matching amount of columns. And if we simply hit enter, we can see within our table switcher that's created a new column. So if we go back to our view, and then instead of our initial column, let's switch that to our new grouping, we can see that's now showing customer table. So if we select that, we can see both of our columns are now appearing, but let's say we added another to that view. So let's insert a comma, and then instead of store name, let's put this as orders, and instead of a column, let's select a measure. If we search orders, and then for the order, we have our first column, our second, let's go ahead and make that our third. If we click enter, we can see another column has added to this view. So then if we go back to our table switcher, and instead of now creating another column within our customer table, let's go ahead and insert a comma as we want another row. And what we'll do is copy this and place this within our gender table. And as this is our gender view, let's go ahead and change that column header name to gender. And then let's introduce our gender column. And now for the order, let's go a lot further than, let's say, 3. So let's set this to 10, just in case we want to add more columns to our initial table. And then instead of customer table, let's call this gender table. And by doing so, we can see within our actual slicer, we now have another table or grouping for our actual measures. So if we select that, we now have our gender column instead of our customer table, as within our field parameters, we've now created a new table with a new column of grouping that we want. So then if we do that one more time, and instead of gender, let's go ahead and add orders. Let's set that to 11 in terms of the ranking. And then the actual column name, we'll change that from gender to order. And then let's create one more table called store. So instead of gender table, this time it will be a store table. And let's set the column names for our first column to store name. Our orders, we don't want that to be a measure. So let's choose our store name column. And let's set this to 20, just in case we want more columns within our gender table. And let's go ahead and copy one of our calculations. So let's get our cost, copy our store table name, set that to 21, so it comes after our actual store name. And now let's introduce one more column for net sales. And instead of our cost measure, let's go ahead and use net sales. And finally, as that's our final column, let's go ahead and remove the comma. And then if we go back to our view, we can see if we select the store name column, we now have store name, cost and sales. If we select gender, we're now showing gender. And finally, if we select our customer table, we now have our customer information. But looking at our column, as that was our first measure and columns we brought in, let's go ahead and correct that. So instead of store name, we want this to be customers. Let's set that to our customer name. And what we can do is swap our two columns. Just for organization, set that to 2. And now we can see we have our customer information, gender, and then store names. So you can do this with as many columns and combinations you want. I'll leave it there as otherwise we can build as many as we want, but that's the principle in terms of how we build this slicer that allows us to switch our values and table combinations based on our selection. Hi everyone, welcome to the Power BI beginner to intermediate course where we'll go from absolutely zero to being able to produce dashboards that are insightful but also designed to a high standard. Now throughout this course we'll go through theory against various topics in detail, but then also head into Power BI where you can follow along and implement that learning. And to make your life even easier in terms of learning Power BI, we have a dedicated working file that breaks down our various topics with dedicated zones and questions you can actually use to enhance your learning and make it much easier. Now in terms of scope, we'll cover a complete end-to-end, starting with what is Power BI, what it does very well, all the way to how do we produce a dashboard that answers various questions and are produced to that high design standard that stakeholders expect. Now in terms of structure, we'll first start off with what is Power BI and what it does very well by simply introducing Power BI as an ecosystem and platform, and then we'll move on to how do we connect to various different data sources, pull that data into Power BI and perform transformations on our data, as often raw data isn't prepared for what we need in our Power BI reports. So for this, we'll cover various components and features of Power Query that you can use to transform your data. And then from there, we'll then look at data modeling and how that's important in Power BI to allow our data sets to scale, but then also how do we connect various different data sources together, as often we simply don't just work with one file, we have data in different locations and we need to connect that in Power BI, so we'll learn that in our data modeling section. And then once our data is connected, we'll learn how to answer various questions by learning how to write calculations using DAX in Power BI. We'll then move on to visualizations, how we create them, but ultimately how do we pick the right visual for the right question to present our insights in the right way. And that's very important, as ultimately a Power BI report is a combination of visualizations that present our data to answer various questions. Now if we pick the wrong visualization, we're not communicating that insight effectively, which leads to bad Power BI reports, as we're not effectively presenting those insights. And then once we've learned that, we'll finally build a dashboard together that combines all of our learning that we can take away and apply to any dataset, as we've learnt the fundamentals and intermediate skills in Power BI. So stick around throughout the rest of this course. There's going to be a lot of detail, but we'll cover quite a lot of ground to allow you to build dashboards that are insightful, presented well, and you can then confidently say you've learned how to use Power BI.